Bonogram. I rated it 5-star. Really enjoyed the book. I think one of the best books that I've ever read in my life. And actually, this is the second time I came back to the book, because last time I had this book from a friend. I needed to transfer the book from him to his current girlfriend, so I didn't have much time to read it at first. Now, very lucky, one of my friends happened to have this book, not the like the hardcover version, but anyway, it's good, so I could read it completely. All right, let us start it. Okay. So 6, 5, 3. Here we go. These white people are here, whether we like it or not. Let's see what tool they possess that can be useful to us instead of being resistant to English. Let's learn English. We'll understand what the white man is saying, and we can force him to negotiate with us. Smart point. Why didn't we go to Switzerland? Because I'm not Swiss. This is my country. Why should I leave? The most popular question I've got when I came back to Vietnam from Australia was, why didn't you stay? And I'm like, should I not answer the question? I just ask them, why should I stay? I'm Vietnamese. Even Australia can be a better country, but there are countries that are better than Australia, yeah? There are always pros and cons when you talk about a country. Well, I feel happy in Vietnam, I feel happy in Australia, I feel happy in anywhere around the world, because I truly feel happy inside. So it doesn't matter where I live, where I stay, where I am. I can live my life happily. "49. Language brings with it an identity and a culture, or at least the perception of it. A shared language says we're the same. The language barriers say we're different. The architects of apartheid understood this. Part of the effort to divide black people was to make sure we were separated. We were separated not just physically, but by language as well. In the Bantu schools, children were only taught in their home language. Zulu kids learned in Zulu. Swana kids learned in Swana. Because of this, we fall into the trap the government had set for us and fight among ourselves, believing that we were different. I think so. I went on days with people who had a hard time speak either Vietnamese or English, and of course it didn't go anywhere because we were different. my color didn't change, but I could change your perception of my color. If you spoke to me in Zulu, I replied to you in Zulu. If you spoke to me in Swana, I replied to you in Swana. Maybe I didn't look like you, but if I spoke like you, I was you. Language, even more than color, defines who you are to people. Racism exists, people are getting hurt, and just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening. And at some point you have to choose black or white. Pick a side. You can try to hide from it. You can say, oh, I don't pick sides. But at some point life will force you to pick a side. I moved to the B classes with the black kids. I decided I'd rather be held back with people I liked than move ahead with people I didn't know. I don't know what I want. Sometimes I think I would rather move forward alone than to be held back by people. Yeah. Even if I like them or not. Learn from your past and be better because of your past. But don't cry about your past. Life is full of pain. Let the pain sharpen you, but don't hold on to it. Don't be bitter. I've seen so many friends hang on to the past, the sad experience, the sad stories of their life, and sure, I don't know. I kind of feel pity for them because to me life is so beautiful. Of course, I have some bad experience in the past, but I live in the present, and seeing their life so bitter, seeing their life so sad, so unhappy, is kind of the courage for me to keep moving on every day. When it was time to pick my name, she chose Trevor, a name with no meaning whatsoever in South Africa, no precedent in my family. It's not even a biblical name. It's just a name. My mother wanted her child beholden to no fate. She wanted me to be free to go anywhere, do anything, be anyone. It's true love. She gave me the tools to do it as well. She taught me English as my first language. She read to me constantly. The first book I learned to read was the Bible. My mom would bring home boxes that white people had donated, picture books, chapter books, any books she could get her hands on. Yeah, cool. If my mother had one goal, it was to free my mind. My mother spoke to me like an adult, which was unusual. In South Africa, kids play with kids and adults talk to adults. The adults supervise you, but they don't get down on your level and talk to you. My mom did, all the time. I was like her best friend. She was always telling me stories, giving me lessons, Bible lessons especially. She was big into Psalm. I had to read Psalms every day. She would quiz me on this. What does the passage mean? What does it mean to you? How do you apply it to your life? That was every day of my life. My mom did what school didn't. She taught me how to think. Beautiful. We tell people to follow their dreams, but you can only dream of what you can imagine, and depending on where you come from, your imagination can be quite limited. Growing up in Soweto, our dream was to put another room on our house, maybe have a driveway, maybe someday a cast iron gate at the end of the driveway, because that is all we knew. But the highest rung of what's possible is far beyond the what you can see. My mother showed me what was possible. The thing that always amazed me about her life was that no one showed her, no one chose her. She did it on her own. She found her way through sheer force of will. Why do all this? Why show him the world when he's never going to leave the ghetto? Because even if he never leaves the ghetto, he will know that the ghetto is not the world. If that is all I accomplish, I've done enough. But I was blessed with another trait I inherited from my mother, her ability to forget the pain in life. I remember the thing that caused the drama, but I don't hold on to the drama. I never let the memory of something painful prevent me from trying something new. If you think too much about the ass-kicking your mom gave you, or the ass-kicking that life gave you, you stop pushing the boundaries and breaking the rules. It's better to take it, spend some time crying, then wake up the next day and move on. You have a few bruises that remind you of what happened, and that's okay. But after a while, the bruises fade, and they fade for a reason, because now it's time to get up to some shit again. I believe that Fufi is my dog, but of course that wasn't true. Fufi was a dog. I was a boy. We got along well. She happened to live in my house. That experience shaped what I felt about relationships for the rest of my life. You do not owe the thing that you love. I was lucky to learn that lesson at such a young age. I have so many friends who still, as adults, wrestle with feelings of betrayal. They come to me angry and crying and talking about how they've been cheated on and lied to. And I feel for them. I understand what they're going through. I sit with them and buy them a drink and say, "Friend, let me tell you a story of Fufi." Well, you've got to read the book because it's a long story. And I don't want to spoil everything on this. Right. While I was eating, he got up. This is when the author saw his biological father again. It was emotional. Really, one of the lines that I love the most in the book. The father said, "I've been following you. I've been following you." That time the author was already a comedian, and he toured around Africa. So Dad has been following him all the time, keeping all the picture from the magazine, newspaper, everything. I felt like this 10-year gap in my life closed right up in an instant, that only a day had passed since I've last seen him. And then he had an idea of interviewing his dad. And he was asking his dad a lot of questions. Dad said, "This is how you normally get to know people? By interrogating them?" "Well, not really." "So how do you get to know people?" "I don't know. By spending time with them, I guess." "Okay, so spend time with me. See what you find out." And then after some time, "So in the time we spent together, what would you say you've learned about your dad?" "Nothing. All I know is that you're extremely secretive." "You see, you're getting to know me already." For the first time in my life, I had money, and it was the most liberating thing in the world. The first thing I learned about having money was that it gives you choices. People don't want to be rich, they want to be able to choose. The richer you are, the more choices you have. That is the freedom of money. People love to say, "Give a man a fish, and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime." What they don't say is, "And it would be nice if you gave him a fishing rod." That's the part of the analogy that's missing. Working with Daniel was the first time in my life I realized you need someone from the privileged world to come to you and say, "Okay, here's what you need, and here's how it works." Talent alone would have gotten me nowhere without Daniel giving me the city writer. People say, "Oh, that's a handout." No, I still have to work to profit by it, but I don't stand a chance without it. It's easy to be judgmental about crime when you live in a world wealthy enough to be removed from it. But the hood taught me that everyone has different notion of right and wrong, different definition of what constitutes crime and what level of crime they're willing to participate in. If a crackhead comes through and he's got a crate of cornflakes boxes he's stolen from the back of the supermarket, the poor mom isn't thinking, "I'm aiding and abetting a criminal by buying these cornflakes." No, she's thinking, "My family needs food and this guy has cornflakes," and she buys the cornflakes. You must be careful who you surround yourself with, because where you are can determine who you are. They say that you are the average of 5 people you spend your time with. I truly agree. And this year I stopped hanging out with negative people, and I realized that my positive energy couldn't do anything to help them. They are so negative, and even it back way, I try to help them, but all they do is to take away all my positive energy, not to take them into them, but to take the energy and then throw it away. It was totally a waste of energy and a waste of time. But I think because we're human beings, we're strong, and if we believe in love and ethic, if they believe in love and ethic, then they will be able to find themselves again, to love themselves again, and to live a happy life. But at this time I couldn't do anything to help them because I'm not a therapist. I can't just see them and then say, be happy, be happy, be happy. No, they will need quite some lessons to understand that. So yeah, although I wanted to help him, it's out of my job, my ability and my knowledge. And if I handle it the wrong way, it hurt myself, it hurt me, and it hurts them too. So yeah, just leave it at that. Nelson Mandela once said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. I saw more than anything that relationships are not sustained by violence but by love. Love is a creative act. When you love someone, you create a new world for them. My mother did that for me, and with the progress I made in the things I learned, I came back and created a new world and a new understanding for her. After that, she never raised her hand to her children again. Fortunately, by the time she stopped, Abel had started. In all the time I received beatings from my mom, I was never scared of her. I didn't like it, certainly. When she said, I hate you out of love, I didn't necessarily agree with her thinking, but I understood that it was discipline and it was being done for a purpose. The first time Abel hit me, I felt something I had never felt before. I felt terror. We have people who cannot police themselves, so they want to police everyone else around them. You cannot blame your past for who you are. You are responsible for you. You make your own choices. Well, that's pretty much it. I've learned a lot from this book, and I think although I didn't live a hard life, I kind of realized some lessons quite similar from the lesson in the books. So yeah, I feel lucky. I feel lucky because I didn't have to live a hard life to learn the lessons that he learned. Of course, not all of them, but yeah. I think this book would be suitable for everybody you would learn something from it. Guarantee. It will make you a more positive person, happier. I think so. So I want all of my friends, I suggest all of my friends reading this book. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say for today. I'll hopefully see you in the next one, and I hope you have a good day or night or whatever. See ya.